Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great and welcome to this new video here on Ripple and XRP. We're going to do a full technical update on the current situation. We'll talk about some important levels, what's most likely in terms of direction, and then also what's most likely in terms of the higher time frames, right? I always try to give you somewhat of an indication of what we can expect short term, but obviously short term price action is always very, very difficult to predict, right? I mean, the lower you go, the less predictable the moves become every candlestick, and right now we're on the 4-hour time frame. I would say that's already quite difficult. But yesterday we got a move into this into our main resistance zone right here at 2.25. Very strong rejection here. You can see that there's basically like the entire resistance is between 2.28 and 2.25. We hit 2.25 and started rejecting from there instantly, made a little bit of a weak high here initially, but it was also tested immediately afterwards, and the seller's conviction seems very high, even though there was an imbalance all the way up to 2.28 as well. So that's short term, maybe a little bit bearish. I would still say that XRP looks more neutral or stable than bearish. But that is something to note, especially also given the most likely direction for Bitcoin, which in my opinion seems to be down, at least on the short term, which obviously has an effect on XRP as well. The correlation between XRP and Bitcoin is increasing again. So last 3 days it's 70%, last day it's 78%. So that's increasing, so therefore that matters as well. Bitcoin seems most likely to pull back a little bit lower. That in combination with the strong rejection that XRP had on the lower time frames, that's what makes me say I think XRP is also going to pull back a little bit lower here. But do I, on the higher time frames, expect a bearish breakdown? No. But more on that later. Fundamentally, when we're talking about news regarding Ripple, there's nothing to really report at this point of time. I keep an eye on Ripple ROUSD, of course, or the Ripple USD, Ripple stablecoin. No major changes there, no new major mints that we did not know of. Obviously, last week, Saturday, we got a relatively big mint, but that's already 6 days ago. I mean, we talked about that 3 times already, I think. So yeah, fundamentally not much going on, and that's also reflected in the open interest. There's also almost nothing noteworthy. And the volume. Volume was quite high, of course, on Wednesday when we pulled back into support. Then the price also pulled back into our main liquidity zone at 2.15. So that was normal, but since then, like I said, I mean, we had a bit of volume with a rejection here, which makes the rejection even stronger as well. But that means that, you know, both sides are relatively protected, and that's very much in line with the price action for XRP in the recent weeks, right? It's not really strong, even though we've had some strong moves in between, but it's definitely not weak either. So I would say short term, I do expect us to pull back. But I do think the general area between 2.17.5 and 2.14, I do think that will hold. Maybe if Bitcoin spikes down all the way to 95,400, that XRP will spike down to 2.05. But when I talk about it right now, I don't really see that happening. I think the main support level around 2.15 will hold. And then if Bitcoin really falls down below 95,500 and we start to drop back into 94, 93, then we can test 2.05. But on the higher time frames, when we really zoom out on XRP, that means that, yes, I think we can actually pull back lower, but I think ultimately this major support level we have below us will hold, and I still do think, even though we have to potentially wait for some news, potentially wait for Bitcoin to rally again, I do think it's most likely that we will still see a rally up to 2.41. But I'll keep you updated on that. There's no indication that we'll see that short term, so don't get too hyped up, but that's it for now. So thank you for watching, see you all in my next videos, and bye.